All right, we'll go ahead and get this started, and as people join in, I'll go ahead and just admit them in. So thank everybody for being here this afternoon. I'm Bobby Hanna. I'm the Senior Technical Trainer at 42Q. So we want to do this webinar to kind of make you guys aware of the visualization tools in 42Q and how they can help you. Some of you guys might already be familiar with these tools, but some of you may not. You'll start seeing us do these webinars every so often, at least once a quarter, where we might be covering a new feature in 42Q. We might be doing a spotlight on an existing feature and just kind of giving you more information about it or something like that. So be looking for these webinar invites to be coming out. Now I'll go ahead and do a disclaimer up front. I'll do it again at the end. We are recording this webinar and we're going to be putting it on our YouTube channel so that everybody can have access to it. Now, none of your names will show up in it. The only part that will show up in the recording is the presentation part. So the only way that your name would come up in this is if at the end, if you're asking a question and you say your name, it'll be in it, but your name will not be seen anywhere in this. So again, I'll mention that now and I'll mention that again at the end. So we've got a YouTube channel now where we're trying to make stuff like this easily accessible for you guys so that if you know somebody that wasn't able to attend this and they want to see this, they can just easily go out to our YouTube channel and view this. And I'll tell you guys how to get there, what the YouTube channel is called and all that at the end. We'll have some time at the end. Also, if you have any questions, as I'm going through, if you think of anything, go ahead and put it in the chat window. Up at the top right, looks like a little text bubble. If you click there, you can put anything in the chat. I'll check those at the end. At the end, I'll also open it up and you can unmute yourself and ask any questions that you want. Myself, and I've got a couple of our other team members here that can answer that question or get you the answer, whatever the case may be. So again, this afternoon we'll be going through the 42Q visualization tools and how you can leverage these dashboards for your KPIs in there. Go ahead and admit another one here. All right, and if I pause for a second, I apologize. Whenever anybody joins, I have to click admit. So it might take me a second. So on your manufacturing floor, you've got a massive amount of data that's going through there. So all the unit information, the serials, the subassemblies, the attributes, all this information that your operators are putting in as they're building whatever product you're actually making in there. And then there's a large subset of data that's kind of categorized as key performance indicators or KPIs. And these are things like your throughput and yield information. So how many units are going through a line, and of those units, how many are good units? And your cycle time, so how long it's taking these units to go through each one of these processes, and their defect information, what kind of issues with these units are you seeing on the manufacturing line, whatever the case may be, and the machine data as well, whether it's testing information, it could be the OEE data coming from that. So how efficiently is your equipment running on your manufacturing floor? And this is just, it's a massive, if everybody could just mute your lines for me. And then, like I said, at the end, I'll open it up and you can unmute your line and ask any kind of questions that you want. So you've got this massive amount of data that's on your manufacturing floor, and it's a lot to keep up with. And so let's take a look at just an example here of a single manufacturing facility. So let's say you have a single manufacturing facility with 15 manufacturing lines, 300 pieces of manufacturing equipment, a production rate of anywhere from 1 unit per second to 1 unit per multiple days, depending on what you're actually making. It could be a mix. And this comes out to about 500,000 unit level activities per day. So this is just an absolute massive amount of data to try and keep track of, and to be able to pull this information up and get a good grasp of how is my manufacturing facility actually running in there. And so this is looking at a single manufacturing facility. So let's bump it up and look at a global. So let's say you're a COO of a global corporation. You've got 50 factories, 1,500 production lines, 20,000 pieces of manufacturing equipment. Again, that same production rate. Any one of these facilities, you could be running things from anywhere from 1 unit per second to where 1 unit's taking multiple days or a week. And this comes out to roughly about 30 million unit level activities per day. So trying to understand all that data and be able to see how things are running is an undertaking. So with this amount of data and with this many facilities and everything like that, someone needs global visibility in real time to understand how everything's running right now. I don't want to be able to know, that be able to look at historical data and see how things are running a week ago. I need to know how things are running right now. So I need to know the PPM information, the test data, quality information, WIP information, throughput. And importantly, I need alerts when any of these KPIs or key performance indicators go outside the limits, because this could be issues where my operators aren't trained good enough. Maybe I'm having issues with the raw materials that are coming in. Could be machinery issues, bottlenecks in the process, anything like that. So you want to be able to look at these key performance indicators and quickly see when issues are occurring so that you can figure out the problem and hopefully fix it before it becomes a major issue. Because nobody wants to hear that one of your manufacturing lines is down. That's the work equivalent of when my wife says that we need to talk. Nothing good ever comes of that conversation. She never says that, and then it's something good that I've done. So nobody ever wants to hear that one of your manufacturing lines is down in there. And reports are great, and we have a great reporting tool in MES Web and 42Q for you to be able to dig into the data and see the unit level activities, be able to pull up unit history, and be able to dig into that data and figure out what's going on in there. But you need a way to quickly view this KPI data to be able to see at a glance very fast how things are running without being able to have to dig into that data. And so we're going to take a look at our two visualization tools in 42Q that are going to help you the most with this in 42Q Live and Operation Dashboard. All right, but before we jump into those, let's talk about how 42Q actually accomplishes gathering this data and helps you to make sure that things are running as good as possible in your facility. So the way we do this is because 42Q uses what's called a force quality framework. And so this means that we are forcing the units to follow the route that you built for it. And that it's got the forced routings to where any deviations from this have to be authorized. So if you have a testing step in your route, the system will not allow somebody to just skip that testing route to try and save time. If somebody's in a time crunch and they need to get units out really quickly, sometimes people will skip certain steps to try and save time to do this. Well, with 42Q, with the force quality framework, it's not going to allow them to do this. It's going to make sure that those units go through all the steps that you have assigned for it in that route to make sure that your quality stays where you need it to in there. And you're going to have full traceability and component verification. So we're going to verify that specific subcomponents and things like that are going on these units and that the correct pieces are going on there. And we're going to verify that the operator's putting in the correct information and that they're not putting parts on there that they should not be. All right, we're also going to have the electronic upload of test and quality records. So all this testing data that's coming with these units is going to get matched up with that unit history in there to where you can quickly, when you pull up the unit history of a particular serial number of a unit in the system, you're going to be able to see all the assembly data, so all the subcomponents, all the attributes that were added, but also all that testing data, if you're using our measurement feature, is going to get combined in there. So you can see all that information along with the unit history in the system. And we also have the operator workstation lockout. So we're going to verify if you have specific processes that operators need to be certified to work on, we're going to make sure that they're certified before they can work on that process. So if you have a particular process like this, if an operator is trying to log into production workbench and work on that process, if they're not certified to work on it, they will not be able to do any work on it. So it's another way that we're ensuring the quality in your routes, is making sure that if people need to be certified to work on a process, that they have to have that certification in the system to actually be able to work on that process in there. So this is the way that 42Q ensures the quality in there. And this is the way we're gathering all this data, all this KPI information and all the other unit level data, to where we can gather that information and show it to you in the system and to where you can view that data very quickly and very easily. So our first visualization tool that we're going to look at is 42Q Live. All right, so 42Q Live is a dashboard which you can pull up and put onto a TV in your office or a monitor or something like that, and you can just simply leave it up and it will auto refresh on there. And you're able to load in a background of your manufacturing facility, or it could be, some of your machines or something like that. And you can lay out where all the manufacturing lines are on top of this graphic. So you can see visually when you're looking at this, where all these manufacturing lines are. And we're going to be monitoring in real time how these lines are doing. So you can go in and set thresholds for the yield and throughput information, and also for the OEE data and all this. And so if any of the manufacturing lines goes outside of these thresholds, you can receive alerts. So this is how you're going to be able to receive those alerts in real time. And we can set warning and critical thresholds. So this is going to help you be proactive instead of reactive. So if you have a yield threshold of, let's say, 98%, you want 98%. Well, if something starts to drift, we can set a warning threshold for 99% and then a critical of 98, so that when things start to drift down and you hit that 99, you can be sent an alert. And so you're made aware of that something's going on before it becomes a major issue. So this way you can hopefully take a look, see what's going on. If it's a minor issue, fix it before it becomes a major issue in there. And so again, you're going to be able to lay this out any way you want. You're also going to be able to view, like I said, the OEE information for your machinery, see how efficiently your machinery is running. We can lay everything out to see the status of these machines, any of this other data coming from your machinery on your floor. And you're going to have a rotating carousel of cards on the bottom so that you can see how everything's running on there. And you'll see the icons change if there's an issue. So you'll see a check mark on a normal day when everything's running okay. And then you'll see that icon change if there's an issue and somebody will receive an alert. And again, this is something you can leave up on a screen and it will just auto refresh every 5 minutes and show you the most up-to-date data. So this is, the 42Q Live is more of your monitor. So it's monitoring how everything's running on your different facilities, on your different manufacturing lines in your facility in there. So we're going to jump out, and I'm actually going to show you this in the product, just so I can show you how quickly and easily it is to pull up and see what it actually looks like for those of you guys that haven't seen it. So I'm going to stop sharing this. All right. So this is your landing page for 42Q Live when you click on this in the product. So you're going to see a global map here. So if you're a global corporation, you've got facilities all over the world, you're going to see a little indicator where all these facilities are. And then you're going to be able to have them listed out here and see them all at once on there. And you'll see from a top level view if there's an issue. So if there's an issue on one of these, it will change the icon on this top level. And then for any one of these, we can just simply click on this, and this is where it's going to pull it up into its own screen. So we have this pulled up into its own screen. Again, this is what you can leave up on a TV in your office or on another monitor or something like that, and just simply leave this up, and it's going to auto refresh every 5 minutes and show you the most up-to-date data on there. So again, we'll be able to see these icons where our manufacturing lines are on our floor, and then we'll see indicators of how everything's running in there. Now this one just has 3 icons on it, but if you have 10, 15 lines running, you would have multiple cards down the bottom. You would have one for each one of these, and they would scroll through as it's just sitting there. And it's going to show you how everything's running on there. And then at any time, you can just simply either click on one of the icons or any one of these cards down the bottom. Click on it. It's going to show you some more detailed information as you're going through. And then you can click again and see even more detailed information about all the different part numbers that are going through, the WIP, throughput, yield, status, any of that. You'll see all that from this screen right here and be able to pull all that up. And of course, you can change this from a day to a night theme, depending on, if you're in a low light, high light environment, or just whichever one looks better to you in the actual system. So again, this is based on whatever the thresholds that you specify. You know, if you need a certain throughput that they should be doing every day, you can set thresholds for that, the yield information, any of that here in the system. So it's kind of an example of one of them. We've got another one right here, you know, a smaller one, just to kind of show you. And again, we could also, this could be a graphic of some of your machinery, and you want to have icons on that machinery to show you the status of those machines, or your OEE data, or any of that. So we can have any of that in these layouts and be able to show you, so you can, again, have these up on a screen somewhere, and just know in real time, be able to monitor how everything's running currently on your manufacturing floor. All right, so now we're going to take a look at Operation Dashboard. So Operation Dashboard allows you to pull up a fully customizable dashboard and view this important KPI data and view it all at once. So instead of having to pull up separate reports for your cycle time and your yields, your throughput information and all that, and look and see, or even, you know, if each one of those reports individually has graphs in it, instead of having to pull them all up individually and see how everything's going, you can just simply have this dashboard up and have all this information displayed to you at once. And again, this is another one that can just simply be brought up, left on the screen somewhere, and it will auto refresh. So you can leave this up, and this is just going to give you a good overview with all these graphics so that you can see the cycle time, the throughput information, yields, your OEE data, defect information, any of this KPI data. You're going to be able to pull up these charts and arrange them however you want. You can resize them. I'm going to show you a second when we jump into the product, and I'll show you this, just how simple this is to set up in there. Because we give you a default one to start with, or a blank slate, and it takes you a couple of minutes to arrange it the way you want. It's very, very easy. So I'm going to show you that. So you can, you know, have as many of these dashboards as you want. So you could have a dashboard for your overall manufacturing facility, and then you could have separate dashboards for your individual manufacturing lines, and one for your OEE data. However you want this lined out, you can make as many of these dashboards as you want and be able to pull them up very quickly. And again, this just makes it easier than having to pull up individual reports to see this data. This way you can view it very quickly and very easily. And then, like I said, our reporting tool is very good if you want to dig into that data. So if you want to dig in and see the unit level information and all that broken down further, you always have those reports to pull up. But you need something where you can just quickly and easily be able to see that and just know how everything's going currently. So you need to know if there's issues occurring, what needs to be fixed, maybe additional resources are needed somewhere, something like that. You just need to know that information very quickly on there. So Operation Dashboard is going to be able to give you that way to be able to see that at all times on there. So we're going to jump over now, and I'm going to show you how this works. All right. So I'm going to jump over here and go to Operation Dashboard. So with Operation Dashboard, again, we give you two options when you're first starting with this. We give you a default dashboard, which I'm going to show you first, which kind of gives you a starting point. That's got some of the most important KPI data, and then you can adjust it from there, and once you've customized it, save it. And then we also give you a new option, which is just a blank slate for you to build on your own. So I'm going to show you the default first. We're just going to click right here and open this up. And again, like I said, this is another one that you can bring up and just simply leave on a screen somewhere, and it's going to auto refresh. So this default gives you your yield information, your throughput, cycle time, yield by product family, throughput by product family, cycle time, top yield, top defect, top cycle time. And also for these, you can drill down a little bit. So we have here yield by product family. We can click on this and it goes down to yield by product. We can go into any one of these products and it breaks it down by the process. So we can break any of these down further within these widgets on this dashboard as well in here. And then from here, like I said, from this default one, if we want to adjust this and customize it a little bit, it's very easy to do so. You just go up here to organize layout. And let's say we want to take out the cycle time by product family. We want to delete that. And we want to make this one a little bit bigger, and then this one a little bit bigger as well in there. We can just save that, and now that's done. We've adjusted that. Let's say that we want to take out this throughput by product family, and now if we want to add in a different widget, you just simply go up here and you've got your list of all the widgets. So there's a lot of them that we have built into this in here. So all about the yield information, again, throughput, cycle time, activity, performance, quality, top 5 repairs, uptime, OEE, problems, repairs. So all this important KPI data, we have these different widgets that are built for any of these. So let's say we want to bring up top 5 problems and repairs. So we just simply drag this out, and then we can resize it and click OK. All right, so that'll have to wait 5 minutes, and then it'll refresh and pull that data up in there. So we've got that. So now let's say we've customized this. We've got it arranged the way we want in here. So we want to go and save this. We can pull up here to this configuration menu, and you have 2 different ways you can actually filter this data in here. So let's say that you wanted to run all of this whole dashboard on just one particular production line. Well, you can do a global configuration, and you can filter the entire dashboard down so that every widget that you add in there is only for that one production line. Or let's say that you want some of the widgets, some of these little widgets on the dashboard, let's say you want some of them to show you the top level information for the entire facility, and then some of them on there to show you for just individual manufacturing lines. Well, you can also filter it down by the individual widgets. So whichever ones you add, you can filter it either way. So either globally or by the individual widgets in there. And so let's say we want to save this as, put in a name there, and we'll say apply and save. There we go. Now we can close that. And now if I refresh this, I've now got that dashboard there, and I can just simply open that up. And again, you can make as many of these as you want inside the system. All right, and then we have, again, the new. So we can open this up, and this just gives you this blank slate. So you could start going out and dragging out these widgets. And make them whatever size you want and arrange this dashboard however you want. Click OK, give it a name. You know, have that access to that dashboard whenever you want to be able to pull up inside the system. So this is Operation Dashboard is very easy to use, and there's very intuitive how to actually set it up in there. All right, so those are the visualization tools that we have in 42Q. So if any of you guys are interested in finding out more about this, I think most of you are familiar with Wellington. If not, he's our Senior Director of Business Development and Strategic Alliances. If you're interested in using this, want to find out more information about it, any of that, you can get in touch with him, and he'll give you more information. Again, we've got training built on using any of these. So if you have personnel or you're not familiar with how to use it and you want to learn more, we already have that training built. So you can view it and learn how to do all this yourself in the system. And again, I made a little disclaimer at the beginning. Some of you joined late. We are recording this webinar, and we're going to put it on our YouTube channel. So none of your names will show up. The only part that will show up in the recording is the presentation. The only way your name would come up in this is if you ask a question in a second and you say your name. That's the only way it would come up. So just be aware of that. If you want to ask any questions, feel free, but we are recording this in there. So I appreciate you guys jumping on here. Hope you got something out of this. And again, be looking for more of these. We'll be doing these webinars at least once a quarter to either cover new features that are coming out or highlight some existing features and give you guys some more information about it, because 42Q is just like any other software. Even the recording software that I use when I'm making videos, I know a small percentage of what it can actually do. I do in it what I need to do. And I've gone through and watched some of their videos and things like that and learned that it had features that I wasn't even aware of that I've started using. So it's got a lot of features and capabilities that you might not be aware of. So that's our hope in this, is that you can access that information and be able to get as much use out of 42Q as possible in there. So if anybody's got any questions, I'll open it up now. Just go ahead and unmute your line and feel free. I'll check the chat here. I don't think we had anything coming in the chat. No, we didn't. All right. So does anybody have any questions? All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. And again, our YouTube channel is 42-Q. If you go there, that's where we're going to start placing all of these videos that we do so that everybody can have access to them very easily. So if any of your coworkers miss this and they want to go and view it, just direct them there. They can pull it up very easily. I will have this recording on there either this afternoon or by in the morning at the latest for everybody to view. And I'm going to send a note out to everybody that was on this invite and make them aware of that, because I did have a couple people email me and say that they weren't going to be able to attend. So I told them I'd let them know that. But that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks a lot again for being here, and have a good rest of your afternoon.